The quantum stabilizer hummed with an angry, metallic persistence as William checked the readouts for the third time. Something was wrong. The wormhole coordinates didn't match any known spatial configuration in the galactic cartography database, and his ship, the Meridian Dawn, was hemorrhaging fuel at an alarming rate. Proximity alert, the ship's AI announced with its characteristic lack of concern. Unidentified vessel approaching at 0.73 light speed. William's fingers flew across the holographic interface, but he already knew it was too late. The other ship materialized from subspace with the kind of precision that suggested military-grade technology. It was sleek, obsidian, and covered in what appeared to be bioluminescent patterns that pulsed like a heartbeat. The communication channel crackled to life before he could even attempt to hail them. Human vessel, you have violated the territorial boundaries of the Felician sovereignty. Power down your engines and prepare to be boarded. The voice was feminine, sharp, and carried an accent he couldn't quite place, something that suggested both royalty and violence in equal measure. William complied. He wasn't stupid enough to start an interstellar incident in the middle of nowhere, especially when his ship was barely holding together. The docking clamps engaged with a bone-rattling thud, and within minutes, the airlock cycled open. She entered like a storm given form. Elsa, though he wouldn't learn her name until much later, stood nearly 7 feet tall, her body a perfect synthesis of feline grace and humanoid structure. Her fur was a deep midnight blue, striped with silver patterns that seemed to move independently across her skin. 2 tails swished behind her with agitated energy, and her eyes, luminous gold with vertical pupils, fixed on him with an intensity that made his survival instincts scream. She wore armor that looked grown rather than manufactured, all organic curves and crystalline reinforcements. A plasma blade hung at her hip, its containment field casting purple shadows across the corridor. "You're staring," she said, her voice dropping to a dangerous growl. "Look at me again, and you're dead." William immediately averted his gaze, focusing instead on the bulkhead behind her. His heart hammered against his ribs. He'd heard stories about the Felician sovereignty, a matriarchal empire of genetically enhanced feline warriors who'd conquered 12 systems in less than a decade. Their queens were said to be particularly territorial, particularly deadly, and particularly unforgiving of perceived disrespect. "I didn't know these were restricted coordinates," William said carefully, keeping his eyes down. "My navigation system was damaged in a solar storm near the Arcturus belt. I'm just trying to get back to the Terran colonies." "The Arcturus belt is 3 sectors away," Elsa said, her tone skeptical. She moved closer, and he could smell something like cinnamon and ozone. "Either you're the worst navigator in human history, or you're lying." "The former," William admitted. "Definitely the former." One of her tails flicked against his leg, whether accidentally or as some kind of test, he couldn't tell. "Your ship's database. Open it." He complied, pulling up his navigation logs on a portable hollow projector. Elsa circled him slowly, studying the data with those unsettling golden eyes. Her presence was overwhelming, not just physically, but something else. There was an energy that radiated from her, something that made the hair on the back of his neck stand up. "You're a xenobiologist," she said, reading through his credentials, specializing in cross-species genetic compatibility studies. "It's less exciting than it sounds," Williams said. "Mostly I look at microbes and try to figure out which ones will kill colonists and which ones won't." Elsa's ears, large, tufted, and capable of swiveling independently, twitched with what might have been amusement. "Look up. You said I'd be dead if I looked at you again. I've changed my mind. Look up." William slowly raised his gaze. Elsa stood directly in front of him now, close enough that he could see the individual markings on her face, the way her whiskers trembled slightly with each breath. Her expression was unreadable, somewhere between curiosity and calculation. "You're not afraid," she observed. "I'm terrified," William corrected. "I'm just good at hiding it." Something shifted in her expression, the barest hint of a smile revealing teeth that were definitely designed for tearing. "Most humans either grovel or attack when confronted by my kind. You do neither. Would either of those improve my chances of survival?" "No. Then what's the point?" This time, she definitely smiled. "Your ship is damaged beyond immediate repair. Your navigation system is calibrated for outdated stellar cartography. And you're carrying research notes on xenobiological integration that suggest you actually understand non-human physiology better than most of your species. William waited, uncertain where this was going. I'm commandeering you, Elsa declared. The Sovereignty has been experiencing complications with a terraforming project on Kepler 442b. The microbial ecosystem is rejecting our catalysts. You will assist in solving this problem. And if I refuse, her tails lashed in unison, then I leave you here with a broken ship and 3 weeks of air. Choose. It wasn't really a choice. Over the following weeks aboard her ship, the Shadowpaw, a vessel that seemed to blur the line between technology and living organism, William discovered that Elsa was not just any Felician warrior. She was the third queen of the dynasty of Twilight Claws, a position that apparently came with significant military authority and a temperament to match. She was also brilliant. Their debates over genetic sequencing strategies lasted hours, conducted in the ship's biolab while the rest of her crew kept a respectful distance. Elsa had a mind like a steel trap, capable of holding multiple complex variables simultaneously and seeing patterns he missed. She challenged every one of his assumptions, and more than once, she was right. You're smiling, she observed one evening as they successfully synthesized a stable bacterial culture that could survive in Kepler 442b's atmosphere. Am I? William checked his reflection in a polished surface. He was. I suppose I don't usually get to work with someone who actually understands this stuff. Most of your species seems content with ignorance. Most of every species seems content with ignorance, William countered. Present company excluded. Her ears flicked forward. A gesture he'd learned indicated pleasure. You're not entirely insufferable. For a human. High praise from someone who threatened to kill me for making eye contact. I was establishing dominance, Elsa said, as if this were perfectly reasonable. It's instinctual. And now? She turned to face him fully, those gold eyes catching the lab's bioluminescent lighting. Now, the situation has changed. The air between them felt charged, heavy with something William didn't quite know how to name. Elsa stepped closer, her movements liquid and deliberate. There's a tradition among my people, she said quietly. When a warrior finds someone worthy, someone who challenges them, who sees them as more than just their rank or their claws, they exchange contact coordinates. William's breath caught. Is that what this is? I'm not certain, Elsa admitted, and for the first time, he heard uncertainty in her voice. But I would like to find out. When this mission is complete and you return to your colonies, I would like the ability to reach you again. He pulled out his comm unit with slightly trembling hands. Then you should probably have my number. Her smile this time was genuine, warm, and just a little bit dangerous. Try not to look at me like that, human. You might survive it. I'll take my chances, Your Majesty. Outside the viewport, alien stars wheeled by in silence. And somewhere in the vast dark between worlds, something new and impossible began to take shape.